What is happening, guys? How's it going?
Oh,
How
good.
are y'all doing? Welcome to 5 Rounds. Welcome to 5 Rounds. I am Wantali. You have Mpatso. How's it going, Mpatso?
Oh, good. Tali. Thanks, man.
Yeah. All right, all right. And then we have Mister Over Too Nice.
What it do, what it does.
Just fix this.
Oh my gosh, what's
Yeah,
going on,
what
boys?
what what it do, what it does out there to everybody. How are you doing? Are you enjoying your weekend? How is it starting? Are you having any mad plans? You know.
What's what is going on? I mean, it's bank holiday weekend in the UK. I don't know if it's bank holiday weekend for you guys.
No, as we're gonna
So
get that one in next month.
okay, cool, 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 cool. So basically, the topic we are discussing today is streaming services, mental health, and children. Right? I think if you looked at that, you would think, well, what are we talking about? Do you know what I mean? We're going to talk about the effects of streaming services on the mental development of children. All right. We're sort of gonna we'll speak about that. We'll talk about the convenience of online on demand online services. Look at it on a pro and con sort of situation, and then we're going to look at if we're doing enough to protect children or even protect ourselves
Hmm.
in our development. Um, then I'm gonna sort of drift away from this topic a little bit. We're going to talk about something that maybe people haven't spoken about yet. The fact that now after COVID, everyone is getting on Zoom calls and Teams calls and not realizing the effect that could have on yourself. Yeah, and then obviously from that point we're going to conclude the topic. So to start with, right, I wanted to do a quick overview on this. So I mean, in this day and age, children find entertainment in streaming services through handheld devices. Since COVID, and since children are not allowed to go outside or play with their friends and stuff like that, you find that a lot of streaming numbers went up. Through the things like YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, and all these things. So, like I said, what we'll do today is question number one, right? Is the convenience of online on-demand services a problem or aid to the mental growth of children? So I will start with Patso. So I will just repeat that question. Is the convenience of online on-demand services a
Hmm.
problem or an aid to the mental growth of children? So does things like YouTube or Netflix, are they a problem or are they actually helping children develop? What do you think?
Um, you know what? I think I would actually pick this up and actually point it out to you because I just remembered like one time we were having a discussion there, and I think you'd mentioned that you were talking about how you got to like music in a way, right?
Hmm.
Over just like you're around your peers, you're around someone else that's older than you is playing certain music, and you just start picking up all this music and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's really easy for you to pick up music now because then back in the days you pretty much were listening to music through other people's contributions and stuff.
Hmm.
um when I'm looking at this like on service demand, and is it a problem, and kind of like does it really contribute to mental health and stuff? I would say there's a 50-50 kind of situation because believe it or not, I just learned something today, as well as just a few weeks ago I was talking to a friend, and they were busy, they were trying to educate me on C, they call it CBT. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, where
Mm.
um, this starts off from like people that are at the age of like 12 until like 25. So therapists are going through and trying to educate, trying to help, teenagers as well as just kids in general to fight off depression and anxiety. If we're talking about mental health on kids, pretty much, I think in the sense of if you're living in a remote area and if you leave your kid to be watching a certain device, watching certain cartoons on a certain device, right? I think in that sense, there is a chance that your own child will pick up behaviors in certain cartoons. There's the likes of like Coco Mello or something like that. They teach you how to interact with a new individual. So they teach kids how to introduce themselves to
Mm,
a new kid to say, "Hi, my name is so and so," right? In a sense, it might be opening up a certain area whereby it might contribute to say kids might feel when they watch that they say, "Oh, I'm not being able to say hi to a certain person because I live in this remote area, and where are the other kids and stuff like that." I think in the sense of online demand services, there is a chance of it either opens up a page whereby your kid will be open to sense of I can be open to meet other kids properly
mm,
to say hi, or I won't be able to meet other kids because I live remotely. If they live remotely, in a sense, they will not be able to express themselves, and it would actually trigger their mindset to say that, oh, certain so while I was watching on the show, they have a dad and mom, or they have a dad and mom, a brother or sister, and stuff like that.
mm.
It kind of triggers their mind to say, why don't I have this person in my life? So I think online demand services sometimes it is good and it is bad as well, in a way.
Okay. Ovi, what do you think, man? Do you think the convenience, or what MP is saying? Do you think that it
Mm.
is necessary in the development of children? I mean, because he's just pointed out something where you've got a certain video that sort of teaches you how to react or how to
Mm.
greet how to greet someone you've met for the first time.
Mm.
Um, I'm going to go back to that question. Is the convenience of online on-demand services a problem, or is it an aid to the mental growth of children?
For my point of view, I think there's more problem than an age, from a development of a child. Because I'll go back to what MP, like you said, for example, like there's a video that teaches a child how to greet or how to get to learn to know people. Well, what you should realize, that video is teaching you to talk to something that is a computerized, which is a system. It's not. It doesn't have real emotions. First of all, it's just teaching you that if somebody says this, it means this. I think because of all these online on-demand services, all right, into a child has eliminated the reality out of every single child. I grew up, for example, I grew up in a time where internet was there, but weren't just on-demand services like the way kids are doing it today. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't matter which country it is, because I know my little brother grew up with that kind of system of where on-demand services there. You click of a button, tablet, that kind of way. Well, I didn't, but I interacted with more with people, and I learned more on how to interact with people. When you're saying a video is going to teach me on how to respond to someone, because I was talking to a real person who's got feelings, who is like me. So if I say something, not only will I get a response, but I'll get a facial expression. And that's simple facial expression can tell you that this person wants to talk to me or this person doesn't want to talk to me. And yet, if you learn that from a video, that if somebody says, "Oh, hello, how are you?" It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, they mean hello, how are you? There's someone who can say hello, how are you, in a way that they don't want to say that to you, and they're trying to tell you that, oh, look, I can't talk to you. But you want to learn that, because 80% of the time is spent on, oh yeah, all right, okay, yeah, this works this way, oh, this works this way, and you just reading and seeing it. You haven't faced that in reality.
Yeah.
You look at, and it's common if you look at so many kids now. By the time that reaching the age of even 12, 13, and they started playing with the tablet at the age of 15. All right, they will know too many things, but when they come to the reality of life, they are absolutely useless to how life goes on a day-to-day basis, because they haven't faced the reality of what life is like. For for example, really quick. Mhm. Go on.
No,
What you want to say?
I'm just saying, please forgive Ovita if you're watching this in 2030 or 2040, because then he says you're useless now. You're not useless. You're really important.
No, but do you know what I'm trying to? I try to mean in the concept. Like I remember, man, there was a time when I come from school, like most kids would do. You come from school, you have a bit of telly, you're gonna watch just a Dragon Ball Z or Power Rangers or stuff like that. But you couldn't wait to get out of the house to go and play with your boys. You know what I mean? To go around. You come back home. You're supposed to be home at 5, and you're home at around 6, and they give out to you. Where did you go? Oh, me and my friends. You and your friends probably walked 3 kilometers away out of where you live on foot. You know what I mean? And you learned so many things. You learned how to let's say if someone is arguing with you, you learned how to take that argument and challenge the person. Not only arguing, but you face the real reality. Today, you can see a child that has spent more time inside the house, and they go outside, and their friends calls them, "Oh, you're stupid, cry baby," starts crying straight away. You know what I mean? Because to them, they're like, "Oh my God, he just after disrespecting me."
Yeah.
But the time where I grew up, you go out there and someone calls you stupid, you say, "Yeah, I don't
Do
care."
you, do you think the fact that you're using this if you're using like a social media platform or just any other network, like just any other login network and stuff, do you think using that makes you tougher or using that makes you weaker? Do you think
It makes you
that you
weaker.
didn't use those networks, it made you
Yeah,
tougher at this stage?
it did make me tougher in a way. I'll tell you why. Because I faced reality. I wasn't my I didn't face online stuff. It's not real. Like there's so many things. I can wake up today and go on the internet and say,
So can I just say,
mm,
where is your mental health? Where is your mental health in this instance? Where is your mental health state?
my
Whereby
mental
do
my
you feel angry about social media in
I
general when it pops
I'll
up?
pretty much I'll tell you, give you a quick example. I'll give you for example, like for example, with all these social media platforms, a child, right? Another
Mhm,
simple example that it affects them more. Do
mhm.
you remember the time you go to school and you got a bully? You have a bully, yeah? You have a bully that bullies you at school, right?
Yeah.
The time you leave your school campus, you go home, that bully's done, right? But
Mhm.
imagine today kids can be bullied in school. When they go home as well, they've got a bully online.
But then there's
So they
parental.
have a yeah,
There is the parental control kind of factors in this, where
yeah.
parents can block you from you can't you kids cannot use WhatsApp at this stage, like
Cool.
yeah.
Boys, I just wanted to interrupt
And
there.
even yeah.
I just wanted to interrupt there, guys. We are talking about streaming services, right? We're not talking about
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
social
yeah.
media.
Okay.
I know you're trying to make a point there that I guess spending more time indoors and watching videos would make you
Yes.
less interactive and less aware. But
Yes.
I mean, some kids have been bullied in school, found out how to use a weapon online,
Yes.
gotten the weapon from their parents and killed the
And because they
bully.
streamed
So
it, because they streamed that.
yeah, so it doesn't really mean that they're weak if they watch the streams. It
Mm-hmm.
just, I guess it's how you raise a child, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm just gonna read the comments and then I'll give you my
Mm.
2 cents on it. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa, welcome. And she says, I think it goes both ways. Kids learn a lot from streaming services, and from Netflix to YouTube. It helps kids from a young age to learn certain things, i.e., learning their ABCs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She says here, on the other hand, it takes away the chance for kids to develop naturally by playing with their friends. This is the part that I wanted to outline, I think.
Mm.
But I'm going to be unfair here because I didn't grow up in the I guess the on demand YouTube streaming sense.
Mm.
When I was naughty or loud or whatever, I wasn't given a tablet to go and watch YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more like go outside, play with your friends, sort of thing, right? So obviously, I'm going to lean towards that because that's the system I know, right? But in this case, the convenience of these things from the outside looking in. Yes, you learn a lot of things, fine. But
Yes.
then again, what are you learning on there?
Exactly.
Are we in control of what the children are learning? Are we really in control? Because some of these cartoons that the children watch, they might seem like they're for kids, but the message in the cartoon is
Mm-hmm.
different. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I've seen cartoons about kids moaning about their parents meeting their boyfriend or girlfriend because it's a situation where the mother is a single parent or the father is a single parent, and this kid is annoyed that they're going to meet this other person. Now, what that is doing, for example, in this case, is implanting this emotional seed that it's not okay for your parent to be with someone. You know,
Yes.
once the marriage or the whatever
Oh,
doesn't
the
work out,
relationship is over.
it is
Mm.
not okay. It's absolutely unacceptable. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So these messages, we have to be careful because as children you don't know yet what is right, what is wrong, what's going on. So I think as much as streaming services play their part in teaching children to be interactive and whatnot, guys, even at school when you did the theory part, you had to do the practical. You got to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go outside and practice, because for me, I learned more interacting with friends, playing whatever, and even watching a show with my friends. I learned more from that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Other than these days, it's very like the kids got headphones on, a tablet. That's it. Once you take that tablet, hey, you got my tablet. What's going on there? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
for me, it's the social element that's suffering in terms of this issue. Um, what I'm going
Just
to
to add
do is,
on that.
yeah, sure, go on.
Just to add on that, like I think really you just hit the spot. It really got back to me where when you're a kid, like you're watching and everything, you want to be a superhero, and it really adds up to the character that you want to be. And you want to be Batman, you want to be, I don't know, whatever character, Spider-Man, being the Spider-Man latest movie that's in. Then when you're growing up, like after like maybe a few years after that, you feel like the whole world has to be centered around you, because then you want to be that superhero, because then every parent is buying their kid all these super figures and all these superheroes, and they're dressing up their kids as a superhero. They're pretty much dressing up their kid, and like the beddings are like, this superhero, their curtains are the superhero and stuff. But then at the later stage, it really hits up in the kid's head to say, you know what, this world is really tough, because you're not the center of attention. You're not this person that your parents really built you up to be, you know? Because you think you're Spider-Man, you think you're Batman, you think you're gonna save the world. And you're watching all these streams, and Batman is always the good guy, always, kicking ass and stuff like that. But when you get to the real world, either you wear your Batman suit or whatever suit that you're gonna wear, it doesn't mean that you're going to kick ass. It doesn't mean you're going to be somewhere and stuff. And it really messes up every kid's brain to say you're going to be this center of attention kind of thing. It kind of builds up an egotistic kind of character in a
Yeah,
kid to say
yeah.
you're going to be this person and you're going to be great, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you could take that and spin it on this image of love, because I'll be honest, every story kids get told, I'm not saying this is wrong, but every story kids get told, happily ever after, happily ever
Mm-hmm.
after.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they watch these things, or you watch these movies, and all of a sudden everyone believes it's always happily ever after. Is it
Yeah.
really like that? No. I mean, that's a simple example of, so if your kid is spending all their time watching this fictional world, what do you think they'll start believing? The fictional world or what you tell them? You know what I mean? So
Mm.
yeah, I'm gonna move this along. Go on to the next part of this topic. I'm just gonna put in the question for you. So basically, the next question is: are we as parents? I'm not a parent, and I think none of us are parents. It would have been good to have one, but in some
It would have been
capacity,
good to have one.
in some
Yeah.
capacity, everyone here has been some sort of parent or guardian.
Yeah, yeah. There's probably someone who calls you uncle, Uncle Ovi, you know?
Uncle, even your
Mm.
younger siblings,
Yeah.
so are parents doing enough to protect and understand the integrity and development of children's mental health. So, this is a big question. I guess there's a lot of big words in there. So I'm just going to break it down this way. All right. Are parents doing enough to understand how the child's brain is developing? You know, how their thinking process is developing. If their mental health is okay with, just allowing these children to be on YouTube and all of that, because a lot of times you hear about parents going, "Oh yeah, he watches these guys game and do this and that," not knowing that the guys in the game might be saying things that the child should not be hearing. You know what I mean? So you, I don't have a kid, but you as parents doing enough to protect your children? Do you know what your children are doing? So I'm going to start with Ovi this time. All right.
Me, I think in general, it's not enough. It's not
Okay.
being enough. It's not done enough. I'll say, in a simple view, that because of that system of that, they are going to watch. As you've said, the kids could love it. It's a child's game, but there'll be someone that streams the same game and they watch the game. Let's say Fortnite, okay? But there's someone who's streaming that. The guy who's streaming that is probably 19. He's using words, he's cursing, is all that. This child is listening to all that, okay? And I've noticed, and everywhere, nowhere, everywhere else you can go. These days, there was a time where a parent actually had bonding time with the child. That's the time they could understand how their brain was growing. But now, that internet system of tablets and all that streaming has taken away that part where parents used to be so busy trying to control you. Rather, they'll hand you something and you're going to sit down there for 3-4 hours without causing the problem. It works out good for them that, geez, I can sit down and rest and can be watching my show. He or she has the headphones on, and that's it. Okay. At that moment, for those 3 hours, I can bet it can't be many parents who could actually stand up and go and see, okay, what is this person seeing for this? You know what I mean? So it has taken away that bond of controlling or finding out what is my child doing these days? What is it? What are the simple changes? Yeah, you see them growing and changing, but you don't know what they're secretly inside themselves, because the child won't even let that out either, because most of the time is spent onto something they're looking at. Well, I think more interaction. A child at some point they start expressing what they're turning into for a parent to actually realize, oh, I think there's something wrong happening with my son or my daughter. Then you can control it in that way. But because most of the time is spent on something else, there's no time that child will release what is really going on in their life.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So, MP, do you agree with what Ovi's saying? Do you think that parents are doing enough to protect and understand the development of a child's mental health, or their child's mental health?
I would say this. First of all, we're like growing up as a parent. Not me as a parent, but in general, just as parents. As parents really being a parent, you actually develop skills with instinct, because then this is something that you're new. This is something that you're developing. It's something that it's something that is not given to you at birth, to say that you're going to be a parent and you're going to do this. You're going to be the best parent or the worst and stuff like that. It's something that you're learning, and it's. Oh, sorry. Did my network drop there?
Yeah, we lost you for a
so.
bit,
Yeah, so just to continue from there, like being a parent, most parents, no, not most parents, like being a parent is more like you're not given at birth the skills and ability to be able to take care of a child. You yourself, as a parent, you're born as a child, birthed as a child into this world, and you're learning so many things as you grow. It does not guarantee you to be the best parent or the worst, right? But the idea is the information given to you is what guarantees for you to be the best or the worst, right? And
guarantees? Really?
Like really, it's okay. So it's two way to this, right? As a parent, you want your child to be the best. For the child, you are hoping that you being the best parent, you're hoping that your child will actually develop the skills that you're actually trying to push onto them, right? To
But
be the best, right?
but does it guarantee it?
Does it guarantee it? Not 100%, because then you know what? Their peers might be different to whatever you actually thought they would be. Because
Mm.
I was one of them to say, growing up, I thought I thought I was gonna be the best kid out of town. Like, and my mother as well, she thought I was gonna be the best kid out of town. But in sense, you get to meet so many different people. They
Mm.
trust you with one peer, right? They trust you with one peer. And that peer is like your exit route to whatever you want to do. I can say, oh, my phone, look at my phone. I don't do anything on my phone. But I could be in a certain WhatsApp group, right? I could be in a certain WhatsApp group, but could be a WhatsApp group, could be a Snapchat group, right? That Snapchat group could be influence me to say, you know what, go out, get whatever you want to get, and you're gonna do this, right? Um, I think the worst case scenario is being a parent, you have no control over the social media platforms, because there are people of so many different ages creating so many fake accounts, and they would guarantee to say they're like certain age and whatever and stuff like that, and they could view whatever content they want to view, right? Parent, as a parent, you have the right to say, uh, Netflix, I'm going to put Netflix for kids restriction.
Mm.
When it comes to YouTube, you say, I'm going to put my kids YouTube to YouTube Kids and stuff. But then there are other things that kids can just open their tablet and access, certain, God forgive me, certain porn sites to just say,
Really now?
no, no, no. This the sense is kids are learning words, right? Realistically, kids are learning words off a certain canvas. They look, you're driving from your home. You're driving from your home. You're going to town and stuff. And here is a Durex advert, right? And they see that, and they can really pick up the letters of that advert, right? And they type it onto their tablet and stuff. You have restricted all these websites on their tablet, but these kids pick up a certain word that's not restricted on that tablet, and they search that, and it pops up, right? It's
And
something
he's
that you
gone
have.
again.
It's something. Oh, sorry. Am I back? I'm back. I'm back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just saying that it's something that there are certain keywords, right? There's certain keywords that the big companies that restrict you as a parent, that help you as a parent to restrict your kids to search for certain words, right? And the companies have searched so many words on Google, and these words are complete. And you search them, and you restrict your kid to access all these websites. But then there is all these like adverts, like these old billboards out there, and your kid just sees this. They have this image, a vivid image, and they pick up all these letters on that board. Oh, sorry. They
Holy,
pick up
holy crap!
a vivid.
Hold, hold on a minute, mate. Hold on a minute. Listen, okay. Are you specifically speaking about a certain age group of children? Because
Nope, because then you know what? Kids are learning letters every day, and
yeah,
Durex is only 5 letters, right? 5 letters. That's Durx,
yeah,
IX,
I
right?
get it. I get it.
So they see that, they will search it on their tablet, right? This is the little things
MP,
that.
MP, hold on a minute. That's an overstretch. All right. If you're saying okay, if you're saying any kid could do that, I disagree. Kids know colors. Yeah, the first thing they learn, the first thing that they're very familiar with is
Yeah.
colors. Those are
Yeah.
one of the
Hmm.
things that is easy
Mm-hmm.
for them to get. I'll
Mm-hmm.
bet you that they will see the color of that picture quicker than they will see the word. Yeah, or the
Hmm.
letters. I'll bet
Hmm.
you that now, right? Um, it's very, very few
I will
children
tell
that
you. I'll
that
tell
will,
you. I'll tell you this.
yeah.
Tell you this. If you're living in that neighborhood for like the past 10 years, 15 years,
Hmm.
they will pick it up one day.
Okay, yeah, though I mean, honestly, I'll tell you one thing. Like when I was a kid listening to adverts, yeah, I still remember adverts from the radio till today, yeah. But I can't tell
Mhm.
you that I can spell a single word of what they were saying, right? But I can tell you I remember the song. This is the thing. Children, they remember the song. Remember what you said? The song, the colors, stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think
Can I just remind you something, right?
mm,
You being a fellow Malawian, Chishango,
okay.
right? You would have seen that image, right? You
You're
would have
right.
seen that image on. All right, so just for the audience, Chishango is the same thing as Durex being in Europe or US or whatever and stuff
It's
like
a
that.
it's a condom brand.
In a sense,
Malayan condom
it's
brand.
a
That's what it
condom
is.
brand, right? Yeah. So in a sense, you had an idea of the image, right?
Hmm.
But you didn't have the idea of the spelling of it.
Right.
But the conversations, you would have picked up a spelling of it,
Right.
and you would have actually, write it down or typed it down if you had the access to certain.
Now let me tell you something. I think you're assuming you're assuming that this child has not been raised of any morals or even been told about what is good and what is not good, right? For example, when
What
you
is a child? A child, as in what ages are we talking about now?
well, let's talk general. I'm just talking general, right? Like a general child. When you were young and you heard one of your friends curse, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, I don't have to curse again because then this is gonna get me in trouble.
You thought straight away, I'm gonna be in trouble with my parents because they told me this is bad. Why
Yes.
is he? Why is this person doing it? This is bad. You know what I mean?
That's
So
where we go back to saying that it takes a certain parent to actually know that you have to advise your kids in certain areas of these conversations.
yeah, yeah, I get that. I get what you said, but I'm going back to that example that you made about a child looking at a spelling of Durex and putting it in their tablet to find out what Durex is. That's not entirely how it works. I think for me, the child will look at, say, for example, the dog in the Durex advert, all right? And if they've seen a similar dog in one of the videos they were watching, they're gonna have that interest to say, "Oh, I remember that dog. That's the
All
same
right,
dog over here."
all right,
You know,
all right. How many letters are in Snapchat and how many letters are in Durex?
are you seriously still going to be talking about this letters thing? I'll tell you.
I am just gonna
Hold on a minute, MP.
I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm just
Nonsense.
gonna tell you this because kids are learning off their peers, right? And they say, "Oh, there's an app that would actually chat on, or there's this that would actually look at Snapchat." I've seen so many kids pulling up their camera, pulling up their phone, taking a picture, and I say, "What's going on?" And these kids are so young, right?
Mhm.
And they have Snapchat. And Snapchat, what's the age limit on Snapchat? What's the minimum age on Snapchat? If you can Google it right
It
about
might
now.
it might be 18. I don't know why. Why are we
It's
going
not
in?
even a
Why
like
are we
16.
going into Snapchat? I don't
16.
understand. What's
16.
So 16, at 16, you are rolling with Snapchat, right? At 16,
Mhm.
you're rolling with
Yeah.
Snapchat, right?
okay?
It's
Listen,
because of your peers.
MP. Why are we going into Snapchat again?
It's
Because
because I'm just telling you that Durex has only like 5 letters on it. Snapchat has all the way, is it 8? Yeah,
so
8 letters, right?
in
These are kids.
in the
These are
thumb
kids that are
right
picking
right
up.
right 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 right. Thank you very much, MP. But in the thumbnail we have right, can those children spell Snapchat?
Definitely, yeah.
Those children in
Definitely,
the picture that we have in the snap, they
definitely,
dude,
yeah.
those are like
Definitely, yeah.
five. Those are like 5 to 6 year olds. Yeah, they can spell Snapchat. Are
They
you
barely can
sure?
spell their
All
own
right,
name.
all right.
Are
Okay.
you
Here's the
sure?
story. Here's the story. In the audience, if you ever get a chance, just Google the youngest spelling bee champion.
Yeah, but that's one in how many?
All right. Are you telling me at the age of 5 you could spell Snapchat?
I could
Or
spell
you,
ostrich, so Snapchat wouldn't
nah,
be that
dude, this
difficult.
boy's capping. This boy's capping. Age of
I
Yeah.
am not
yeah,
capping.
nah,
I
bro,
am not capping. I
you
am
capping,
not.
bro. Listen, when do you
All
okay?
right, let's continue.
When do you attend school, bro? You probably couldn't even do your ABCs at 5. You get me? When when do you attend school, man? Come on, dude. Let's get this moving along. All right, moving along. Listen, sorry for drifting off in that Snapchat debacle or whatever that was. So basically, note to self: don't pass MP the mic. um, yeah. Are parents doing enough to protect and understand the integrity and development of children's mental health? I don't know. I don't think so. Mental health is a tricky. It's a tricky thing unless you're I guess, a professional who studies it all your life and you know all about the patterns or whatever it is. I don't think you could know enough about it because there's so much potential to your brain, how it works, and we don't know 100% of it. So are they doing enough? I don't think so. I don't think so because it's so easy to hand it, like Ovi said, it's so easy to hand a kid a tablet to say, hey, here you go and do YouTube, because you think the kid's going to do the same thing they did yesterday, which is watch the same show. But believe me, that kid is learning something different every day. And then the parent comes back and says, oh my goodness, this kid knows how to unlock my iPad. Oh my goodness, this kid knows how to put my bank account details. Oh my goodness, he bought all these things. This is what I'm trying to say. This is just the context of it. But then think about what they are looking at. All right. So, for example, as a kid, if they stumble across certain material that they shouldn't be seeing, their first reaction would definitely be, hey, I shouldn't be seeing this. I'm going to stop now. But the next time they view it, they'll probably see it longer. Oh, I shouldn't be seeing this, but I know where it's at. Let me just look a little bit longer. Why do people watch this? You know what I mean? Why is it they say it's for grown-ups? That's the first time the kid starts giving those questions. Then when that happens, the kid starts looking for answers in the same place they went and found that problem. Do you know what I mean? So what they're doing there is they're self-learning, but also learning in the wrong way. Does that help in their mental development because they understand things in that way? I don't think it does. I think hold on a minute, MP. I'm not done. I think there are so many things that affect children that we don't know of, that we do not know of. You should dress this way, you should dance this way, because these videos are telling them that. You should react this way. How many times, how many times have you seen kids make just random noises or do whatever? Like, that's coming from somewhere. They've learned it somewhere, but parents choose to ignore it because of, I guess, oh yeah, that's coming from that cartoon. But what does it mean? Or what does it mean to your child? Is it helping them? MP, as you were, I know you want to say something.
So, so just to bring you back to reality, most families are really pushing their kids to watch the show Coco Melon, and it's the other part of all this is that when you push your screen, when you push your kids to actually have all that screen time, and you're trying to just distracting you from like working at home and trying to get everything sorted. It's just that you're adding that effect to kids whereby they're getting this dopamine into their brains that their circuits are really addicted to that. Whereby if you don't give your kids the tablet that they actually used to every single day, they will not really respond to your request, to whatever you want them to actually learn from you. They will only learn from screen.
Okay.
And
Okay, but
while they're
what is your point, basically? That's what I'm trying to ask you. What is your
my
point
point
on
my
this?
point my point is it's the fact whereby it was a time whereby parents would take kids to the playground. Parents would take kids to certain leisure centers and stuff like that to distract them from certain things, right? But now screen time has really taken up all that, and kids are picking up certain behaviors off the screen where they would see, if you're a single parent, they would see a mother and father, and they would learn all this, and they would be asking, what's happening? I don't have a dad, I don't have this. as a single parent, it's really heartbreaking to actually try to explain. It's really heartbreaking to actually try to explain to kids to say, I'm a single parent because then your father left me, or I'm a single parent because your mom died or your dad, passed
How
away and
is it?
stuff like that.
How is it?
It's really tough
How is it tough to explain that? Because the thing is,
because kids really picking up a habit of they're growing up. They're watching Coco Mello from like a certain age to like
It's
maybe
you and Cocomelo. God dang,
I
man.
know
no,
that.
I'm
Um,
just putting an example because then there's like what's this Teletubbies and all that stuff. There's like so many shows out there. Like I'm just putting
yeah,
like
but
a
we
recent
we
example.
are talking about the, I guess, the effect of streaming services on their mental development or mental health.
Yes.
You're
So
starting.
here, the mental development of it is that kids would believe to say that a parent should be with the pair. To say a parent, a mother or a father should have, the other. And they want to grow up in a family of having a mother and father. Oh, sorry. They
I
want to
think.
grow up in
I
an
think.
environment. They
I
want to
think.
grow up in an
MP. I think well, you're saying that the TV show tells them about how a stable family should be. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. I think any child that doesn't know how their family should look like, even from the moment they meet their parents, right? Should do the parents really need to be their parents? You get what I mean? Like, I think the first thing you are taught as a child, yeah, is this is your mother and this is your
And this is your
father. Okay,
father.
okay, maybe if there isn't a father there, but you will know this your parents will be hammering on to get you to say mama or get you to say pop, whatever it is, bro. So are you saying that you've missed this part? You've ignored this whole part of learning, because this part is fundamental. I'll be honest. Are you
Yes.
saying that once the baby's born, that's it? Tablet on their face. I'm not going to tell you what the word looks like because that's what you're
Learn it.
thinking. Learn it yourself because that's what you're trying to say. Because that's I
Uh,
have
what
never.
But
I'm trying, what
they
I'm
said
trying
in
to say is,
fundamentals.
if you look down, let's say 2 decades ago, it wasn't more of a tablet kind of environment. It
Right.
was more of your parents were there, or could be your parent, or could be someone else after your parents could be looking out for you and stuff like that. These things would have been different for you, right? So I'm kind of putting it whereby the more you're exposed to streaming, right, is the more you're exposed to knowing that the world is a different place. And when you know that the world is a different place, you kind of put the values together to say, why don't I have, two parents? I have one. Why don't I have, this? I have this. So there is that kind of place whereby they're
But
streaming,
the
they're showing kids going to school, they're showing kids and doing that. And there's that thing whereby
but
TV shows, wait, let me just finish. TV shows are actually showing that kids should be okay to go back to school because they're so used to being home.
yeah,
They
but
don't want to go
MP
back to school.
MP, you're going out of topic. You've gone out of topic like three times now. Listen, what I was saying is are parents doing enough to protect their mental health and integrity? What you're answering there is if this is helping the children or not.
Hmm.
That's what you're answering here. But then I was speaking about
Are they doing
whether
enough? They're
whether
still
they're doing
passing on the
enough
tablets.
or not. You know what I mean? So to conclude this question, I'm gonna go back to what you said about the child that was watching whatever show that was, that Coco something you talked about, and when you took that tablet away from that kid, they reacted a certain way. That's the mental impact of whatever it is they're watching. You know what I mean? So it has changed how they behave as a person because they feel they need that thing, and their parent doesn't matter. It's that thing that piece of entertainment they're getting. That is the part that you focus on, the mental development, what the effect of what's happening to this child through watching that show that they like. Do you know what I
Thanks
mean?
for
are
correcting
you
me.
are you as a parent looking at that and thinking, whoa, I need to correct that? Or are you saying, do you know what, I'll just leave you be? Are we paying attention to these things? I think that was the point of it. I felt like you were going to go back to that point, but anyway.
Yeah, I think I drifted away for a bit, but in
Yeah.
general, like I've got loads of it. Like, continue.
Right. So next question, right, is, well, so basically I'm gonna drift away from the so we're going to progress a little bit. We were talking about children, the effect of mental health on children, but let's go into, I guess, growing young kids, or young growing adults, whatever you call them, teenagers, anyone going through life right now, right? Have commitments to learning on Zoom, Teams, affected self-perception. So have they affected the way you look at yourself as a person? For example, because you can see yourself on
Yeah.
Zoom, and you can see your friends and all these things, has it changed how you look at yourself, or how you feel you should look like, or you should behave? Ovi, we'll start with you. Has this
100%.
affected you?
I think it has affected a lot of people. I personally myself, it never affect me because I'm one person who don't take selfies. I don't like selfies because they're not my stuff. I ain't no photogenic. I don't like selfies. If I take a picture, I let them take a picture, not a selfie. You find 2 or 3 selfies because I find it. Look, it has affected a lot of people because you look at yourself a lot. If you have so many mirrors in your house, you keep on trying to correct yourself. It's simple mathematics. People look at, if we sit right here, every now I take a picture and come on, I've seen people take selfies. They'll take like 20 or 25 of them and pick one to upload on the page. You know what I mean? It just shows how much they're like, they take that one. Oh no, this looks big. Oh geez, oh no, my nose looks a bit bent. Or people have started thinking of the self-esteem has gone so low in a lot of human beings because of that fact of even things I just think about Zoom, because people will be in a Zoom class and they'll try, to position, before this Zoom class, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, you're going to class. You're just going to learn. You're going for a school meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as simple as, okay, yeah, you're going to put on a tie, look smart, look clean, but people will sit there and, I need to look perfect for what's on my, that kind of way. It has affected a lot of people's self-esteem. People going around and it's the one that is killing a lot of people. Geez, I think I don't look good. My lips, I need to get lip fillings. Or I think my forehead is getting wrinkles. I need to get some, injections because they're seeing it themselves too much. There was a time where people who leave the house and they look at the mirror at the time they're getting ready and the time they leave in the house and out they go. But now you have a phone in your pocket. Before you get into the nightclub, you're like, oh, geez, I gotta look at myself. That kind of thing. And if something little small is affecting you, like, oh, geez, I don't look good. I need some outie. I need some this. I need, And I think that's very bad. And as I say myself personally, I advise and people. I always say this. I don't like selfies. I don't take selfies. I ain't no Van Diesel or anything like that, but I don't like them. You know what I mean? It's not my thing because it just drops the human self-esteem. You want to go out there, go out as who you are. That's what I believe. And I go out there as who I am. But if we look at ourselves a lot, I think it has affected a lot of people's self-esteem. People trying to look different than what they originally are.
Okay. MP, very quickly before we finish the show. So have the commitments to online learning or online, I guess online services to help us stream across to our workmates, school, whatever it is. Have they affected how we look at ourselves, as people?
Okay, so I'll just keep it short. Early on, if you heard me talking when we had started the conversation, I was talking about CBT. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. It's more of what happens is that there is this part where you feel, oh, I've had posted all my life about pictures of me and in my relationship with my partner, blah 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 and stuff, right? And you believe that is the image of you two to be the most perfect thing, right? And the next thing is you break up, but then you forget the other factor of your life to say that when you break up with this person, it's not you breaking up with this person and then you're going to be alone. It's you breaking up with this person and then you're going to be with your friends. But most people, when they look at that to say that, oh, the commitment of me was to post pictures of me and my partner, me and this and that and stuff like, they forget that, you know what, you had a life before that to say you'd have posted pictures of you and your friends. But now you and your friends became you and your partner, and now it kind of eliminated the life that you really had and stuff. And then when you think about it back to say, how is it really that bad? It's really bad. Where the idea that we all have this moment where we forget so many things to say that commitment of us being able to post things is we forget other things around us. So we say, okay, you pop up on Teams, you pop up on whatever stream that you're on. You look at yourself and you look at the other person. You say, oh gosh, the person looks so great and stuff like that. It really affects your thoughts to say, did I really have to, dress up for this, meeting? Did I really have to dress up for this show? Did I really have to dress up for certain occasion and stuff, right? So all these occasions that other people are experiencing, and you say, oh, certain person just went to Tesco and they look this amazing, and you want to look that amazing going to Tesco. You can go to Tesco with your in your pajamas. You can go to Tesco in your pajamas and still feel fabulous. Why do you have the concern to be in that position to try to fit in, to try to look like certain person? You've always been amazing with your family. You've always been amazing with your friends. How? Why is it so much that all of this has affected you over time? So to say this, the commitment of learning all these things that you've had on really affects you, because then when you see certain beauty, when you see certain images online, they affect you. Why are you letting these things affect you? Because then it's more of you're not letting yourself walk away from this. So I think, like, realistically, all these things really affect people because you're trying to learn off people's behaviors and trying to project that on yourself. But then realistically, we're all different humans, and you don't have to always behave in a certain way that all these humans behave. You know what I mean?
Are you going to start a church? Because bloody hell.
Boss!
'Cause bloody hell. What was that about? What the hell was that about? Listen.
What is good cuckoo you talking about, bruh?
Wow, in many short words as well.
Yeah.
So basically, look, again, I am gonna just say it like it is. Basically, I think it is becoming a problem and people are affected because in real life, you don't spend as much time looking at your own image, right? In your own image, alive, let's put it that way, apart from the mirror. Because how many times, apart from people who are quite vain, how long do you spend looking at the mirror? And then once you go out there, the only thing you can see are your fingers, hands, whatever it is, but you're spending time looking at what is around you, right? You forget to worry about what is wrong with you, right? um so coming to your point, MP, I think, you were saying that, when you see other people, it affects you and whatnot. Yeah, it affects you, but not as much as I think it would affect you being on Zoom, because you can see yourself. You can see what you look like in that moment, right? And then you see your friend who is looking better or whatever it is, and then you go back to yourself. It really gives you this perception. You're like, with this one is like this, and I'm like, what's going on here? And for someone, you could always start questioning yourself. You know what I mean? Because this is how, I guess this is how the mental issues become. This is how you test
Like,
your mental health and your
is my
integrity
background looking okay?
and
I don't
strength.
know.
Exactly. You
I don't know.
become so focused on yourself that you forget about everything else. So yeah, it doesn't help. But anyway, to finish off again in short words, like, you know what I mean. How can we solve these issues? So how can we solve the streaming services issue, right? So kids having streaming services available to them, um, us as parents not knowing how to how to understand their mental health or development and integrity, protecting them from some of the content that's coming out there. Because let's be honest, not everything that's streamed on Disney is good or something like that, or not anything that's streamed on Netflix is good. How can we solve that problem? That's the first one I want to ask. FB, please keep it brief.
I know that, Luke.
I believe just like banks, I believe just like banks are told to say, don't do this, don't do this, we're going to punish you. There needs to be a regulation behind the broadcasting networks where there needs to be a limit on a certain message, because certain platforms that really send a message to the kids, yes, you are teaching them how to do ABC, but you're sending a certain image on it. Like I learned I was watching the movie Lion King, and there was a certain scene where as it Simba looks at the sky, and there's dust. I don't know, is it dust or is it a star? And it spells sex in the air. And
how the hell did you know that? I've never.
I was just watching, and I was just really picking up all this.
There's no, listen. Were you watching the same Lion King I've watched?
Oh, were you watching?
All right, okay.
Rumble in the Jungle.
Ovi. What I'll tell you, this just audience watching this, is just try to Google just say cartoon images that are like pretty much damaging kids over certain situations. You can search it however you want to search it, because
oh my gosh, we've gone back to this imagination of words.
That's imagination.
No. How
long did it take you to realize, to find out that word sex?
It was later in my adulthood. Like
right. So you think a 5-year-old child?
This is the fact whereby I'm telling you to say that these corporations, right, should be audited and should be targeted to say,
what makes
if you send out a bad message, if you send out a bad message to any way possible.
What makes you think they're not audited?
Yeah, exactly.
What makes you think they do not check what they're putting out?
I believe if they were audited, certain images would not get out there, because they're setting it. Yeah.
Like what? Don't talk about that Lion King thing, because that's just nonsense.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Okay.
Minnie's dress in some certain scene of the movie, in some certain scene of the cartoon, looks like a penis, right?
And God damn it.
No.
Damn it.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Right. I think a good example of how this has changed is just look at how Space Jam was, right? There was a lot of drama on Space Jam about the girl Lola, yeah?
Yes.
Lola,
when
they changed her up. In the first one, Lola looked like a babe, like a depiction of a woman, yeah? When this is the cartoon.
She had boobs and everything.
Then they turned her into a girl, because, so these are the things that have been made to change that perception, because it was a little bit tricky. Like, okay, so since Bugs Bunny is a guy, he's meant to, like they were already telling children it's okay. This is the norm. Bugs Bunny loves his girl. What if Bugs Bunny's gay? Who knows? They're like stuff like that. But these are the changes that have been made. So what you were saying there, it has to be quite obvious. This
but not about me. Minnie's dress.
I know.
Come on, bro.
I will come on, bro. Like I am just saying that there's some certain images.
I would have bought if you told me about maybe Shaggy and Scooby Doo, that they're always high. That's why they look for matches. I would have bought that one.
Yeah.
But the Minnie's dress looked like a penis. Come on, bro.
I'll tell you.
Maybe it's all conspiracy. It's all conspiracy.
I'll tell you one that there was one that I noticed. They spelled shit backwards in Dexter's lab, right? I think it wasn't shit. It was actually dick. They spelled that backwards. Yeah, they were like, I think Dee Dee was arguing with Dexter, right? And then she said, "Well, at least I'm not a KC KCID. I was like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? And I caught that, and I was about what, 16,
Yeah.
and I caught that. So it's stuff like that, those little hidden messages, man.
Those hidden messages, like those ones where those make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The ones like it's I don't like I don't know. The ones you're giving examples, like they don't think Lion King would spell sex out of dust, like out of the blue. Just let's just spell sex right here.
Right. Okay, then Ovi, quickly, how can we solve this? In fact, I'll leave it to MP because he already explained most of it. But how can we solve the Zoom side of it? So, for example, the Zoom's Teams issue, whereas you're sitting there and you're always thinking about the integrity of your body, or being consumed by those thoughts. How can we solve that?
I think they already tried to solve it. By the way, when they made Zoom to say that you can be in a conversation and take off your camera and just be on voice, you know what I mean? I'm one like that when I'm doing class Zoom calls. I just put on the mic and I don't put on the video. You know what I mean? Some people would have the videos on. Hey, I'm more concerned of listening to what is happening. You know what I mean? Just to eliminate. I think if people could go that way, because the whole point is conversation. Because all you're doing, unless
people feel disrespected if you turn off the mic. Some people feel
not the mic.
The camera.
No, I mean the camera. Yeah. The camera. Yeah, some people might, but some people have got, like, people should also understand. Some people have got a phobia of being on camera. So it's also a part of people. Other people, on the other hand, to respect other people as well. Not only that they're trying to be disrespectful. I've been in loads of classes and I always put off the camera and I'll just have the mic and I'll be listening. You know what I mean? And if it's a PowerPoint, you're seeing it. What's so special about my picture? Why do you want to see it?
Let me ask you a question, Ovi. Especially in this setting that we're in, where we have to have our cameras on. How do we solve? Say, for example, I'm sitting here going, I'm not happy with how I look. Wow. How can I solve this problem then? Because I need to have my camera on.
Okay. Well, you ain't gonna solve that problem. I don't think you're gonna solve that problem because your camera gotta be on. Fairness. on this kind of scenario, this is a podcast. Podcast. We gotta see you. We gotta see you.
Right.
That's the whole point. Like in this situation, we can't solve it.
Okay. Cool.
Some companies have mandatory.
Are you gonna carry? I think you were gonna finish. You were gonna say something, Ovi. Sorry.
No, they were saying that because now we've only looked. That's in the factor of when it comes to Zooms or in anything like that, right? I think that's the only way. If for a person of you like myself, I'm the type of person. I shut down the camera, and that's it. Let's go. You know what I mean? But in some settings, and I mean, as you've said, some companies will be mandatory. You can't do anything about that. You ain't gonna solve that. You have to be there.
So we can't solve that.
You can't. No? That's how to me. Unless you can come up with something and tell me that I think there's ways you can do this. Because personally, bro, I think like if a person.
Yeah, sorry.
Real quick, yeah. If a person is that kind of person who's gonna be looking at yourself and having a problem, but the company says you gotta be on that, it means they're stuck in a corner where they can't do anything. They're gonna look at themselves and feel bad about themselves.
Cool. Listen, I would say this is how you can solve this thing. I think. First I'll outline the issue. I think when we got into this whole COVID life, some people still haven't gotten out of this COVID life. What am I trying to say there? We still feel like we have to constantly be on a stream to talk to people. We have to constantly be on the internet to interact with things. People have forgotten that you could go outside now. You can interact with people. So what I'm trying to say here is have a routine. Have a routine in life. If it's time to be on a stream or on Zoom for however long, companies now allow you to take short breaks, so that you can sort of get out of that situation, and get back into it. I think it's just establishing that you're in one zone and then you can come out of that zone is quite important. Also establishing that you're in a routine, time to work, time to have fun, time to go out, time to run, time to go exercise, whatever it is, right? It's important because all those things. Switch off your camera, for example, switch off your computer. All those things are self-improvement, self-assessment, and self-development, to be honest. So that's how I think you can solve that problem. The solution is there right in front of you. It's just that we just don't know it. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to stop. you know. So yeah,
Give it a rest.
Disconnect.
just exactly. Give everything a rest. To that note, guys, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the topic. We wanted to address these issues, sort of make you guys aware. It's more of an awareness topic to make you guys aware that these problems could arise. Do you really understand what your children are going through? Do you really understand what is going on with you when you're on Zoom and stuff like that? One thing I forgot to mention throughout this whole podcast, throughout the whole stream, is guys, make sure you subscribe if you're new. All right, subscribe so you don't miss out on the material that we bring out. We bring out videos every week at 7 p.m. on a Friday. Also, always hit the like on the videos because it helps us reach more people. So if you hit like on the videos, your friends can see more of our content, guys. All this stuff is free, right? So yeah, go on and do that. As always, we're always wearing the merch, the 5Roundz merch. As you can see, it is available. You can buy it for yourselves, and we ship worldwide. Some of it comes from America. The quality is good, I assure you. Press the link in the bio. I know MP's got something to say. What did you want to say, bro?
I just wanted to say, I just wanted to say that don't take it wrong that we're talking about screen time, about kids and everything, but sometimes depression and anxiety could be fought off through screen time. Where there's some therapists that really work on hard to actually try to help your kids improve their social skills and everything through screen time. So don't take it wrong for this discussion that we're actually against it or not.
Right, disclaimer, is it? Okay, so tomorrow, going on to tomorrow, we're always live on Instagram tomorrow, 8 p.m. It's a different type of thing. We loosen up a little bit, have a few drinks, talk about relationships, talk about whatever you want to talk about, guys. So that one is more interactive. We like to, read your comments and just have a little bit of an interactive show. Last week was quite fire. So, guys, you don't want to miss out this week's one because there might be some big things happening. So, guys, on our Instagram at 5Roundz Podcast, we are going live 8 p.m. talking about whatever it is you want to talk about, guys. Other than that, obviously 7 p.m. Fridays with us here. We do interviews, we do video reactions, we do all kinds of things, guys. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe. What is the name of the show, boys?
5Roundz, man.
We'll see you later. Thank
It's
you
like
for
a bit of
watching.
5Roundz.